Hi, I'm Allyn Root for Personal Liberty. I live in Las Vegas. I live and breathe Nevada politics. Something's very wrong. Something smells rotten in the Nevada desert. And Senator Harry Reid's fingerprints are all over it. I am, of course, referring to the Bundy Ranch siege. This was a dispute between a Nevada ranching family with rights to the land in question for about 140 years and the BLM, the Bureau of Land Management. The government claims that this family hasn't paid grazing fees for 20 years. The result was a government assault on the ranch, including snipers with assault rifles, SUVs, helicopters, airplanes, and over 200 heavily armed troops. No matter whether you come down on the side of the government or the ranch family, I think all of us can agree this was excessive force. But forget all that. I believe the more important question is, why is this case so important to United States Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid, U.S. Senator from Nevada? And what was his involvement in this controversial assault? Let's start with Harry Reid's obsession. Just on Monday evening of this week, he weighed in again, promising this isn't over. Doesn't it strike anyone as strange that the U.S. Senate Majority Leader is so obsessed with a small rancher who hasn't paid grazing fees? Does New York Senator Chuck Schumer get involved publicly when a New York company is late paying rent to the U.S. government? How absurd, how unbecoming of a U.S. Senator. Doesn't the Senate Majority Leader have anything more important to think about? How about 100 million working-age, able-bodied Americans who are no longer working? That's important. How about more Americans today on entitlements than working in the private sector? How about more Americans on food stamps than the number of women working in all of America? How about Iran building a nuclear bomb or Russian jet fighters buzzing American ships? Yet Harry Reid obsesses about a rancher late on his rent. Something smells fishy, folks. There are other questions raised about Reid's involvement. Why did this assault by the government become the #1 priority of the Bureau of Land Management, BLM, only days after a senior political advisor to Senator Harry Reid took over the BLM? Coincidence? Government appeared completely uninterested in backing down for days on end and completely unconcerned with instigating a deadly confrontation like Waco or Ruby Ridge. Didn't even matter to him. Then suddenly Senator Reid's involvement was brought up by conservative websites across the internet like this one, Personal Liberty, and instantly, out of the blue, within hours of Reid's name being attached to the raid, the BLM decided to pack up and walk away. Don't you think that timing was a tad coincidental? It's been pointed out by journalists intent on covering for Reid that a $5 billion Chinese solar project backed by Reid was recently shelved. But what they forgot to mention is Harry Reid's involvement in many solar and wind projects across the Nevada desert. Too many to even count. Only days ago, Senator Reid was featured in a photo at a groundbreaking ceremony for a new solar project. Where is it? 35 miles from the Bundy Ranch. Senator Reid's fingers are in virtually every solar and wind project in the Nevada desert. Green energy is his obsession. Green energy is his baby. His vision is turning the Nevada desert into the green energy capital of America. Who benefits from that vision? Democratic donors who run green energy companies. Who stands in the way of that vision? Nevada's ranchers, farmers, and property owners, almost every one of whom is a diehard Tea Party conservative and a patriot who despises Harry Reid. Get the connection? Reid and the BLM needed a cover story to take the land away from the ranchers. So they claim it's about the endangered desert tortoise. But if the protection of the desert tortoise was so important to the BLM, why did the same BLM kill hundreds of desert tortoises last fall? If protecting the tortoises was so important, why is the BLM constantly waived rules protecting the desert tortoise for many solar and wind projects? If cattle are a danger to tortoises, why are solar panels and wind turbines not a danger? There's so much more to this story, folks. My educated guess is that someone in the government already has big plans lined up for the Bundy Ranch. Someone's going to make a financial killing with this forceful land grab at gunpoint. Someone powerful in government wants the Bundy family off their land after 140 years. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. It was U.S. Senator Harry Reid who famously made a guess about Mitt Romney's taxes, and Harry guessed wrong. No one seemed to mind. So now it's time for all of us to ask questions about Senator Reid's involvement in this scandal and the government land grab. It's time for the media to investigate. I'm only guessing, but something smells very rotten in Nevada. I'm Allyn Root for Personal Liberty. See you next week. God bless America.